Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary as Magic Stream on today, Sunday, December 1st, 2024. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese is currently on the road. I'm Arcat, and
I'm Sleep.
or the EP Sleepy, the goer to beds. You need a big splee.
No, like my name is Sleep.
The Destroyer of Pillows.
Hi, Sleep.
I'm not gonna comment on that one. Hi, Aracat.
Hi. And happy December, everyone. I can't believe we made it. But we can't close out the year without something exciting. We've had cons. Cons are fun. Cons are done for the year.
They're cooked.
They're cooked.
They're over. They're done through.
They're done. For now. They're taking a big eep. But they'll be back. And we've had tournaments, and we'll continue to do so. And we've had other streaming content done through either us or Meticulous Talks. And all throughout this process, there's been a couple of spreadsheets. And every now and then, a few more rows appear on those spreadsheets filled out with words. And this is usually a sign of horrible things to come.
It means that I have to do work. It means GP's been doing work. It means that all of you have things to look forward to.
No,
And
they
for
have work to do as well.
I was going to say, for those of you who wish to contribute to the game's success, yeah, means you all have a job now.
Alright, come on, quit crying. Get into the proofing room.
It's okay. It's not as bad as you think. Yes, it is.
It's not actually that bad.
It's
The amount of degenerate combos that slip through will increase until morale improves.
I mean, the problem is that's basically accurate.
I can keep printing combo cards until someone says stop. It's
As long
true.
as the combo doesn't require thought, I'm fine with it.
I mean, those are exactly the kind of combos that we don't want getting through. Okay, Bugle said stop. Well, I guess we're done. Wrap it up.
All right, no more combos.
This is where if I was being very cruel, and if this was pre-edited, I would have done a smash cut to the Patreon slide.
Right, exactly. That's okay. No, it's prize wheel time again. We need to spin the wheel once more. We had a full set release. The full set release has been good. There's been a few things that have been tweaked and a few things that will continue to be tweaked, and then we'll eventually announce what those are, since it occurs to me we haven't actually done anything yet.
Question.
Well, outside of Comet being a doofus.
How wide is the bankrupt section of the wheel? Is it only one standard width, or is it bracketing the $1 million thing?
It's one standard width, but the wheel is weighted. Just don't look at the underside. No, this time around, it's a traditional prize wheel spin. We've taken a look at the meta, determined, hey, these play styles, these decks maybe could use a little bit of a boost, come up with some ideas that will help support that, fill in the other colors and other support tools where necessary, ask you all for your opinions, and get one of the main characters as a chicken. I don't know how this keeps happening. At least it was a troublemaker this time. Would have been worse if you made AJ a couch.
Then okay, you keep this up, you give me an excuse, I will put Rarity's Shays in there, and then you're gonna have to deal with this.
I mean, that's fair. It would be a good accessory. The fact that Rarity's Couch has not had a card is honestly a bit of a travesty.
Has it not?
It really hasn't.
That's crazy.
Right? What is interesting this time is, I think from the first do the thing, Bugle. That's fine. There it is. Okay. From the first release of these prize wheel cards, the first wave of this particular spin, to where we are now, we've seen the most changes, and pretty dramatic changes in some cases, of any of the prize wheel releases we've done so far. Is that a good thing? Is it indicative that we're running on our last 2 brain cells and have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to come up with functional ideas? Or does it mean that we have greater contextual awareness for the meta? You decide! And also, please test them and tell us which one it is.
I think 2 brain cells might be one too many. I think we only need 1.
Well, there's clearly at least 2 brain cells here, because one's like more combo cards and the other's like stop.
No, that brain cell is shared between the 2.
It's true. That brain cell is in superposition. Ask me how I feel about combo on any given day, and it will adjust the outcome of the next set release.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that I can play a meta game
Yes. Yes, you can.
by just running endless terrible combo decks against you and making you so frustrated about it that you start printing aggro cards?
Yes.
Alright, everybody, you got your mission. Get to it.
By the way, if you want proof of this happening, let's take a look at our first card.
Alright, let's take a look at our first card. So we're not doing a slogfest, but to GP's point about filling in opportunities in the meta, once growth mindset, we're going to take a brief look at each of the cards that we think that we've got some important commentary on why we made this card. So, without further ado, here's Big Brother Best Friend Forever on his very own main.
Our little corn dog enthusiast has come so far.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yes, Francis Sparkle himself.
Shining just can't catch a break.
Sorry.
Well, y'all sat here yelling about it for long enough. Oh, commentary is magic. You made all these cards that make me want to discard things, but I don't have a good way of discarding them. Oh, I have a main, but this main doesn't synergize with discard. If only there was some way we could combine these things together. Here it is. It's an aggro main that isn't literally just move all the things.
But I liked moving all the things.
Well, you can move this thing.
You can do a little bit more than just move this thing.
I can move this thing. Look at the boosted side of this. This is nuts.
Swift, agile, competitive too. You can potentially have all 3 of them if you want. Bear in mind that you can only have 1 instance of each.
This makes me sad. I wanted 20 instances of competitive too.
I know you did. Unfortunately, there are a few cards in this game that we should probably say, no, that's not okay. Now, Shining is here primarily as a means of giving blue aggro a boost. And for those of you who have been sitting here looking at the meta in core since New Generations released, you might be thinking, why are you helping blue out? And that's a fair argument. There's been a lot of blue, and a lot of it hasn't been very nice. However, all of the nice blue cards have been patiently sitting there on the sideline, waiting for a chance to be played again. And the hope is that Shining might give you an opportunity to do so, and also work well with, a few of those other keywords, like training. Now, is Shining going to be the end-all, be-all aggro main? No, probably not, right? If you want to actually be getting value off of his boosted side, you're going to need to build your deck in a very particular way where you want to be discarding cards, and you're going to have ways of gaining value from it. Either refilling your hand or getting extra effects.
Yeah. He doesn't work quite as well as, say, Balluna does, but you can still get most of the way there. And he's got a couple of other neat tricks.
For what it's worth, you also don't have to branch into other colors with Shining in order for him to provide good value. Ivory ran a deck that actually didn't even run any synergistic cards and just had the standard low to the ground blue aggro package, and it worked well.
But you can also do a couple of other fun things with him. 5 power that can just kind of show up somewhere. It's not that bad for farming purposes. Especially if it can show up at multiple places.
And there's already cards that farm might want to get in its discard, like Gigi, for example.
Yeah.
Cheese is not here to correct my pronunciation on that card.
Yeah. Go ahead and threaten her with a good time. She's still waiting for her money.
Or Buffalo, as Bugle points out. Buffalo would be excellent. Yes, Big Hoof. Now, for those of you wanting to play a little bit more directly aggressively, I do highly recommend Blue-Purple. Some of the synergy that you have with the training cards, with cards like Royal Scorn, and most importantly with Daybreaker, which is actually the reason why that boosted ability says power 4 or less, because Message from the Past is a card that exists.
Yep.
Can generate crazy amounts of value for you. What if you don't want value? What if you just want cards? Play blue-pink. Trust me, pink can draw cards. And as long as you have the way to draw cards, like, say, effects that fill your hand to its limit, or to part of its limit.
How about that? So there's some stuff you can do here. Let's leave it at that for now.
Yeah. It's open-ended enough that you should be able to play more than just one type of deck and more than just one color combo and find success. So hopefully you do. Do we want to take a look at the next and second main that we have in Prize Wheel? Yes, that's right. 2 mains in the same Prize Wheel.
It could have been 3, but
We'll worry about the third one later. I think this one has had the most changes to a main I've seen in a while.
he went through
You're
some
not
different iterations. But you know what? You can't party this hard without some experiments.
Part of the thing that makes designing yellow aggro tricky is there's already some space that we don't want to necessarily infringe upon, right? You can't.
Can I please have another like yellow main that does dumb things with dilemmas?
No. We tried that.
Please.
Three times. She's over there in the corner where she belongs. I'm sorry, Fluttershy. I didn't mean that.
She'll be alright.
I meant it a little bit.
Made Fluttershy cry, you're a monster.
We also, of course, have the yellow main that just says, hey, just go wide. Trust. It'll be fine.
We don't talk about the Skittle.
We don't have to talk about the Skittle. We have the cop. The cop also says go wide.
Just
And
go
that
wide
was-
in a slightly different way.
Right. And that was perhaps the trickiest thing with this main was how do you make a yellow main that gives you multiple directions to build it, and the best version of those isn't just, you know what, I'm just going to run the exact same package I did before. Well, the answer is make them play card types that yellow hasn't historically built around. But yellow still wants power, and yellow still needs aggro. Hitch is good and has good utility, but his ability doesn't necessarily synergize with aggro unless you happen to be against a TM deck.
Right.
So,
And not everyone runs troublemakers, of course.
so what if we want power? What if we want more power, but we don't want it just through Critter Swarm? Well, play an event, host a party, and if Cheese is there, you know Boneless will be there too. And as long as Boneless is there, Cheese can do his thing that much better. Now, at face value, this is fine. Get an extra friend. That friend can, be there with Cheese, and you can have a lot of power confronting problems. As Bugle has pointed out in Discord, Boneless is actually very useful because he will allow Yellow to confront not yellow problems without having to run not yellow friends in the deck.
Yeah,
Because he's colorless.
that's neat. Built-in ability to hit some of those problems that you'd really like to run, but can't because you'd be a mono deck otherwise. And it's like guaranteed too, so delicious.
However, Boneless is in fact a superhero and can travel through space and time as soon as someone says the word party. So you're over at one problem, you're confronting, and then someone at the other problem yells, "Hey, party over here!" And all of a sudden, whoop. "Hey, party over here!" Whoop. Rubber chickens everywhere.
So basically, what's going on here is it's the power of Pinkie Pie concentrated into a rubber chicken.
That's a terrifying thought.
I mean, Pinkie
Also-
Pie's a terrifying thought. Don't
I
mess
also
with her.
like her. I like her photobombing Cheese's boosted side.
She's just up there in the corner having fun. Wanting to be noticed. Please notice me.
So we'll see what happens when Yellow can lean a little bit more into its event style. Aggro, definitely. You've got cards like Scary Story and Terrified Scream and what's some of the other fun ones? Full Name Drop. Pick Up That Litter. No, wait, that's the orange one. What's the yellow one? No little cheese card yet. No, not yet. Not everyone needs a constant reminder that Cheese Sandwich stole your waifu.
There's also
he did.
no footage of Little Cheese. There's one sequence. And it's not a very... Yeah, it's not great.
Adoption options is kind of gross. Get a free critter and grab your... Oh, man. Oh, this is weird. Because you'll get the free critter and you can find Antoine, and then you have a critter that you can retire and get value at. Interesting. All right. Anyway, next card.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. Okay. Speaking of filling your hand up, here's a card. It fills your hand up for a cost.
Yeah.
Great option for blue if you don't have any cards in your hand left.
Yeah.
Blue's been running into this more and more if you're playing aggro, just because a lot of the cards are cheap and you have ways to recoup some of the AT that you're spending to do so with like Bottled Dragonfire and Stuck Together. But if you run out of cards and you have AT, it's kind of sad. So as long as you're willing to throw away whatever the last few pieces were that you definitely had in hand and definitely didn't play all your cards first, because why would you do that?
Or if your opponent milled you.
Right. Hey,
Sorry.
no worries.
Hand attack. You know what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
No worries. You can get back up to about half the hand limit.
Yeah, so not bad. Also works well with the certain other card that we just talked about, but there you go.
Are you implying there's some combination of blue and or pink griffins that might want you to just keep drawing and don't stop?
No. I'm actually not. I'm talking about shiny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she can work with shiny, sure.
Both are correct.
Okay. How about some other cards?
Sure.
Let's head over to Ayapalusa. I believe I'm going to make it a requirement during a Chaos event that if you play this card, you have to yell the line.
There's so few opportunities to play Brayburn. I think people would take you up on that. So we just spent a lot of time talking about blue, like countering blue, or giving blue different support, or hey, look at these 2 blue cards. And Brayburn looks at all that blue and just says,
Well,
"Nine."
darn sakes. Can't be having none of that in Appaloosa.
Hospitality. Courage. Also, maybe a little bit of magic counter synergy, you know? Feels bad if you're running a bunch of cards where you're stacking counters of either power or magic type for value, and then some jerk comes along and says, haha, get scared. Oh, did we spell hospitality wrong?
Yes, we did.
Hospitality.
Diamond Song is sitting here proofing things. Itty. Okay. I probably misspelled that on the sheet too, because I definitely know how to spell. It definitely helps that InDesign has absolutely nothing resembling a spell checker.
Hey, Arcat, please spell the word definitely.
This seems like a trap. Don't do it.
R is going to kick me out of voice chat.
Too much effort.
Anyway, Brayburn is small enough that you can play him cheaply, you can play him early, and he has a pretty tremendous effect in terms of defensive protection. So the question is your opponent really willing to spend that piece of removal on a 1-cost, 1-power Earth Pony friend? Implying that Brayburn is ever going to only remain at 1 power.
Oh my god, I spelled it correctly in the API. This is terrible.
We'll have to see what can happen with him. Who else we got?
We got a rock.
Those two are quite the couple.
One appreciates rocks. The other is a rock.
Would you say that Mudbriar is her rock? Technically, concrete is an amalgam.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. You with the Roctorate.
Yes. Speaking of waifu thievery, Animoise. All right.
Amazing.
Two purposes here with ModPie. Number one, all that messing about that your opponents have been doing with your discard pile, all that Cantor Logic Factory and Spirit Siphon and Restricted Section and other shenanigans. Nah.
Mod rolls up and is like, I'd like you to quit playing in my garbage, please. And just stares at you.
So then you mostly stop playing in the garbage. But you play a little bit more. Mod disappears behind a bush, and Dragon Lord Spike appears on the other side. Or, insert giant threat here.
Something. Cadence. Shame we can't have her anymore.
Those of you who have played Reanimator for a while, especially back in Harmony, know that being able to reanimate something for 2 AT is about as cheap as it's ever gotten. And we have a couple of events that let you do so. A mod is technically cheaper than that. And She can hit from any player's discard pile, not just your own. But you're only getting it once. So use it wisely.
Yeah. The cost here is high enough that it's not obsoleting anything, it's just a different way.
Right. And get creative on how Mod leaves your discard pile. I think there's a certain person in chat who could speak to a few ways they've found. And it's part of the reason why Mod now has to be banished instead of being able to do her thing over and over again. Thank you.
Well, look, you wanted the broken combos to be found in advance, right? There you go.
And they were.
That's why we
We
test.
fixed it.
Something, the science gets done. We make an e-gun for the people who are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right. Next card.
Well, I hope you're happy with the friends, because now we're on to events. Alright. I'm going to go a little bit into the Slogfest territory. I'm very angry at myself because I burned up the art I wanted to use for this in New Dawn, I think. Anyway.
Which one?
Cutie Campers. The Troublemaker. That no one remembers what it does. Because it's a bad card.
Yeah, the Troublemaker. Yeah.
I think this looks fine.
It works. It's fine. But this is basically like B-roll art.
Yeah, it works okay.
Anyway. So
they are mid-song here, so
yeah. I mean, they were mid-song in the other one too. Anyway, hey, song.
Hey, song. So song synergy. Also, no color requirement?
Well, yeah. They're blank flanks. They don't know what color they are yet.
That's true. And you know what? They're trying a little bit of everything. Want an extra friend? Sure. You can have a small one. Want a little bit of magic? Sure. Just a little bit. Want a resource? Okay.
You can have a little resource as a treat.
I'd say the potential is limitless, but the limit is literally the number 2, so... That being said, I'm totally running this in mill. Don't ask me why. I think this one is going to be kind of the sleeper. I think a few months from now, we'll see a few more decks experimenting running maybe like 2 copies as options.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be able to do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So this one's not so much filling a perceived gap as much as opening up some new territory. I think.
Right. This is, if not a true build-around card, at least one that is open enough that people can find ways to use it without it having to have a deck built entirely around it.
Yeah. Nice, good, solid card.
Perfect 3 out of 6.
I'll save that comment for later.
Fair.
Anyway. Next up. You ever get a feeling?
No, never. My name is Mod.
Maud has feelings. She's just careful about how she expresses them. So, speaking of perfect 2 out of 2 of 2, you know what's annoying? When you can't, like, deal with a resource.
You know who else is annoying? Small Pip. Small Pip is annoying.
That's all pips.
All Pip is Small Pip?
And all pips are annoying. I will
Which
wait for my hate mail from Hithrock.
Ivory, you ever been sitting there looking at the opponent's side of the table and saying, I don't like that thing? But I can't do anything about it, so I'm gonna go do something else for 30 minutes, and you can sit here at the table.
I don't know if it's quite 30 minutes, but everything else, yes.
All right, because you're just sitting there, just being like, "Well, I ran the wrong color. I guess I'm just dead here." Now, see, that's terrible. And so this is basically, this is a pretty direct response to that problem. Like, there's no real sugarcoating it. This is filling a need that is just like, oof.
Right. You want to have removal for friends or resources that are causing you problems? Okay. It's going to come at a cost, and it's going to be restricted, but you can have it in any color. Time delayed, expensive, main phase, requires you to have a particular card. Fine. But
So
get that thing out of here.
So pink has resource removal?
So pink has resource removal.
Yellow has hard friend removal.
Yellow has hard friend removal. So does orange, for what it's worth.
Gross.
But you think orange is going to play a card with 2 up in the power corner? Come on, that's for
No.
chumps.
I mean, maybe?
I highly doubt it, but I've been wrong before.
4 is the floor. Now only one C. Brayburn. Yes. Just 1 power orange cards. Go ahead, Bugle. Let's see the list.
I mean, dodgy shopkeep would like a word.
Dodgy shopkeep is 2 power.
Anemoy, after your opponent plays this, frighten your own friend and keep it. Stonks. Yeah? Valid.
Alright. So, speaking of disasters, how about our next card?
Oh no, not this one.
Children. Twins.
Perfect 3 out of 3 out of 3.
Basically. Except there's only 2 of them. I was threatening to find a way to get Flurry Heart in here, so then it'd just be, like, great.
Just shoot her, like, zooming through the background.
I mean, I could, actually. But yes, this is what you need, is small children wrecking the place up. And this card annoys me.
Why does this card annoy you?
Because this card demanded a bunch of weird changes to the rules. But
yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it did. Suffice it to say that the text on this card in its current version will work when the cards are released alongside the comprehensive rules update.
Yeah, you know it's a good one when it takes a rules update to make a card work. Like, it's understood what this does, but...
Are you literally pound cake in this image right now? Just like, look at this. Look at the shenanigans. Look at what I have to deal with.
For every instance of the word trigger on this card, that's how many times aura divided by 0.
I would, in fact, say that I am triggered right now.
Aura confirmed Angie toddler. Now there's a mental image for you. Also, that's me over there on the right side of that card. That is my face.
Gnawing on your hoof.
Designing this card. Look at the brain cell in peak performance mode. Alright, so now that we've sat here and just talked about this, triggered abilities are powerful, but triggered abilities are limited. Usually by whatever triggers them. But what if you could trigger the trigger, and in doing so, trigger your opponent? Well, now you can. Look for when or at, then get creative.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. Like, a lot of stuff. Oh, we want to rate limit things because We want the ability to only fire when you play. Shame. Shame. Absolute shame.
This is a whole lot more than just a portal effect, which is part of why it costs 3.
So yeah. Have fun seeing what you can do with this, because the limits are a little bit higher here.
and also if you find something well outside the range of what you would expect to be possible, maybe you should say something about it, because this is one of those cards that can definitely do that.
Please don't make us ban this, because if it comes back, it's coming back with Flurry Heart on it.
Is that a threat?
I don't know, honestly. I'm not sure if that's a threat or a don't threaten me with a good time.
No, what you need to do is, if it has to get reformed, just keep the art exactly as is, but superimpose Flurry Heart's face zoomed in over it.
Can we just do like a Flurry watermark?
Okay, so I think what I'm hearing here is I need to redo this with Flurry and then threaten you with it being not Flurry?
Yeah, that would work.
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
Also, we should probably remove the chaotic trait from this card since it has no chaos text.
Yeah. I mean, I literally just regenerated that, so...
I know. I need to fix that.
No, you don't.
Alright. Next card.
That's not OBS. Next card. You know what we don't actually have a card of? This. I don't know how. It's been there since Season 1. It's right there.
On the ground. Right there. On the walking path.
Just pick up what I'm putting down.
The zebra literally told you about it.
You think we listen to her?
Clearly not. Zakora is like the manifestation in NLP of the plot of every rom-com, where everything would be solved and the whole movie would be over in 5 minutes if people would just talk to each other and listen.
Yeah, but no one does that, so it's unrealistic.
But that doesn't create conflict.
Bugle wants to put this on Shiny. Bugle is a mean meanie pants.
Yeah. So what the design notes on this were rather on the nose. What was it?
Design notes for this one: Golden Horseshoe, but for control.
There you go. Uber, but for control. Got it. And yes, I'm claiming artistic license on the flavor text.
We lost Limestone as a friend for the ability to shut off different characters' abilities across different turns when defenders rotated. Limestone was expensive anyway, but she also contributed power and was stubborn, so, that was nice. There's been a lot of resource synergy. So, makes sense to kind of shift the effect a little bit. And copying the template of Golden Horseshoe means, hey, this is a pretty nice way to synergize either with Handy, where you can technically bounce this between multiple characters and have them lose their abilities if you really want to lean into it that hard. Or just take a look and see which one's going to be best for you to shut down on every turn cycle. Bear in mind, you'll still only get them half the time.
Yep. So it is a little bit more limited in that respect. But that's okay. That was an effect that, honestly, we probably kind of needed to keep around just in case. So, here you go.
Looking at you, small Pip. It's mostly Pip's fault, let's be real.
Can't be real, everything's fake on the PonyNet.
Big Pip, too. And Chrysalis. You know what, just all the white cards. Alright. Next card.
another thing that you really would have thought that we would have had on a card by now.
We kind of did.
I mean, it was a friend before.
We kind of did, but that's partially because this thing just has, like, no good shots of it. This is what happens when you make Twirling Toons mad. Don't make her mad.
So, hand knowledge is something that control decks like to have. Hand disruption is icing on the cake. Playing control is very much a game of needing to have the right answers every time your opponent asks a question. And knowing which questions actually need an answer and when the best time to answer it is half or more of the strategy. So if you know all the questions that are coming, you'll know which answers you need to play. And yes, as Bugle points out, you are also capable of sniping your opponent's anti-combo tool that may be in their hand. Maybe.
As you do.
And that being said, if your opponent runs enough resource removal, they will absolutely take this. And if your opponent is playing pink and steals this, you have just goozled yourself.
Yeah. Silverstream. Don't let Silverstream play with your magic artifacts. You will regret. Alright.
Alright, couple more.
Couple more. Though, this one... You know, I don't know what to say about this one. Actually, I do know what to say about this one. This is your fault. You made us do this.
It happens.
We gave you options, and this
yes.
is what you ended up with. Bok bok.
You want to play chicken? All right, we'll play chicken. There you go. I think we'll probably save our comments on this one for the Slogfest. But yeah, your fault. And last card. Oh, hold on.
Holding.
Well, you don't want to read it sideways?
No, I don't want to read it sideways.
Holding.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, lacking lesson plans was out. Troublemaker decks are becoming a lot more common. Maybe it's a good idea to have a more open-ended anti-troublemaker problem every now and then.
It's also not bad just for its straight aggro stat line.
Oh, sure. Definitely intended. I mean, that's part of the problem, right? If you had a farm deck that was able to just guarantee that it was going to be getting more power, like, oh, I don't know, cheese sandwich, for example, and you wanted to continuously set up and farm, well, a problem ability like this would be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
But low confront Rex and a high bonus means you need to find a way to be able to capitalize on that. That being said, cheese might still be one of the mains to really look at this thing and say, yes, I will.
Yeah, it's possible that this goes into a farm list, because, you know, if you just run Bug up to this thing, and Bug is big, just, you know, not having any questions about, does Bug boop the snoot?
Yes, Bug will boop.
And then Bug also doesn't mind this for its big bonus, so this may find utility in things other than aggro. If you are incredibly spicy, maybe you can even make this work in control.
Flipping cards is just giving your opponent the opportunity to flip Magicite. I agree. Also, why are we flipping Magicite? We're flipping Chaos Capital of the World. We're turning Bug back to start side.
That depends on which format we're in.
Wouldn't both of those be Harmony?
No, Magicite's Marks in Time.
Oh yeah, Magicite was Marks in Time.
Mhm.
Right.
And Bug is necessarily Adventure.
It's a nice aggro stat line, though. So like you said, if you're just an aggro deck that's sitting there wishing you didn't have to run nothing but 6 power, 2 bonus problems, well, this one is less than 6.
That's enough.
3 and 2 is honestly a lot easier to hit than 3 and 3.
Yeah. Can't quite do anything with Shining, but that's okay.
So for those of you tallying it up, we had what I would consider probably 7 of these cards that were more aggressively focused. Definitely some cards that support control strategies, and a few cards that lean into more open-ended or nebulous concepts that we hope people can find creative uses for, but we thought the effects were fun. Now it's up to you. We'll continue to update Ponyhead with these cards and any revisions that may come. I think there's actually one that we forgot to do for Maud. Some of her numbers have been tweaked and we forgot to update that. Oops.
I can't fix it if I don't know.
I know, I forgot. But we'd like to see what you can build and hopefully what you can play. If you have the opportunity to get some test games in and just post about it in Discord or send us messages, that would be wonderful. Even if you don't have the chance to play, though, just throw a Ponyhead list together and see how things look in there. Surely someone else will have time to be able to run it through a tabletop simulator game. But what if you wanted an opportunity to play with cards in person?
Well, do I have good news for you?
Yes.
Okay, admittedly, you also need a passport or some
Well.
way to get into Canada.
What if you are already in Bananada?
Then half of your job is done, but perhaps you need to fly to the other side of the continent.
But what if you already live in the proper side of Canada?
Well, then you have a good time, because you literally just hop on the bus and there you go.
I am jealous of these people. But I'm going to be there anyway.
Okay.
And we hope you are too.
Admittedly, it takes like 3 buses and a train ride. You know how long it takes to get from the airport? A train ride.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, Vancouver Pony Expo. January 17th to 19th, 2025 in hopefully not as cold, but equally beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia.
Whew, that was a frigid one last year. We'll see where we get to this year.
My money's on minus 17
Please no.
Which system?
Celsius, the system Canada uses.
I have to ask.
Hopefully your room has heat this time.
I have questions about negative 17 Kelvin. That's a problem.
The room, in theory, had heat last time. It tried.
Well, the room had a heat pump that those don't work as well when it's that cold outside.
No.
So Diamond Song asks a very pertinent question. What formats and events might we be running?
That's an excellent question, Diamond. Thank you for asking it.
Constructed and limited. And or limited.
Ivory is correct. We'll have news about Vancouver here in the next couple of weeks. But you can expect at least one constructed tournament, at least one limited tournament. I mean, it is the home of the infamous Cube, after all. And
I don't think I'd call the Cube infamous. It's more well regarded than that.
Oh, all right, that's fine. formats, regular and extra crispy. No, extra crispy is just the format that we play after GP goes down to the hotel's liquor store.
It's not crispy so much. But it's always a good time. So
Indeed, it is.
look forward to some events up there. And I don't know. Maybe something else. Maybe a panel.
Maybe a panel.
We'll see.
We'll have to see. For now, though, I think that will wrap up our discussion for today. We'd like to give a big shout out to all our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. If you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please do consider donating. Doing so enables us to continue making content like this and lets you earn some great perks as a bonus. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, Twitter, or email. And if you're a patron, you can, of course, chat with us live on Slack any day, anytime. Finally, if you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked just below the stream. With all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grand Pause.
Big Cheese is evidently still on the road. I'm still... What was I doing? I had a gimmick here. I forgot what it was. Anyway, I'm Arcat, and...
No, I'm the one with the gimmicks. But I'm Ivory.
Yeah, I'm Spartacus.
There you go. Wow. Carol Channing as Spartacus. Ryan Stiles as
Yes.
Carol Channing as Spartacus.
That's
That's a deep cut.
It is a very deep cut,
Spartahorse.
because that was the one with Robin Williams, I think. So yeah.
It's been a minute. Anyway, while we sit here and nostalgia, bye.
Sparta Horse. All right, bye.